To fractions. We're going to spend about a week and a bit going through a lot of stuff on fractions. Now, the point is, we're only going to touch on it in lightly today. I'm going to go through the whole thing, and then later on in the week, I'm going to set you more work. But today's session is just simply to go through, listen through what I'm doing, try some of the questions, and then later on, I'm going to give you individual work to do through Microsoft Teams. Don't forget, you can also go onto really good websites like the MyMaths, try questions there, and also BBC Bitesize and other very good resources. So we're going to try these by looking at questions and examples. First one is adding, and we're going to add 3/5 plus 4/5. And you should better hear 3/5 plus 4/5. If they've got both the same bottom number, the same common denominator, then it's relatively easy because you simply add the numerators, the top numbers. So it's 7/5. And you can convert that. That's called an improper or top-heavy fraction. And you can convert that to a mixed fraction. And we'll talk about that later. But let's look at this one here. 3/7 plus 1/3. Now, you can't add these because these two numbers must be the same, and they're not. So I need to think of a number that they both go into. And if I times them together, I get 21. So what I can do is I can get what we call equivalent, same fractions. If I times the 7 by 3, I get 21. Whatever I do to the bottom, I do to the top. So I get 9 over 21. I times 3 by the 7 to get 21, so I times that one by 7. Now I have 9 21ths plus 7 21ths, and you can see you add that 16 21ths. Now, we've talked about these things. These are called equivalent fractions. That 9 over 21 is the same as 3 over 7, except that is simplified form 3 over 7. We know that 7 over 21 is also the same as a third. So in the same way, it's equivalent, the same as. But let's look how that works. What number do I put at the bottom here so that this is equivalent to this? Well, 4 times 2 is 8. So whatever I do to the top, I do to the bottom. 6 times 2 is 12. Whatever you do to the bottom, do to the top. Whatever you do to the top, do to the bottom. What about the other way around? It's a bit more complicated. What have I done to get from 10 over 15 to 2 over something? Well, I need to think about what number goes into 10 and into 15. And I know that the factor of 10 and 15, the highest factor, is actually 5. So 10 divided by 5 is 2. 15 divided by 5 is 3. Remember, whatever you did to the top, you must do to the bottom. So now, try these questions. Press the pause button, have a go, and then after you've had a go, press play. Here we go. Let's see if you got the right answers. Okay, this one. What did I do to 11 to get to 44? Or what do you do from 44 to get down to 11? Well, you divide by 4, you divide by 4. 12 divided by 4 is 3. And you should be able to see now all the answers here. So check how you've done. Come back to me if you found you've got a difficulty. Pause it now, check your answers, and then press play. Okay, let's look at this word. These questions here. These are multiple questions. Of, in this case, means times. So 3/4 of 45. So 3/4 times 48, Now to do this, when you multiply fractions, numbers, you simply times the top numbers together and the bottom. Now you don't see this, but it's like divided by 1. That's all over 1. So 3 times 48, obviously use your calculator, and then divide by 36. So 3 times 48 divided by 4, 36. What about this question? 3/5 of 32. So let's write it out. 3/5, instead of, let's have times, and it's 3 times 32. So that's 96. 96 divided by 5. And that gets you this fraction here. Now, at the moment, that's fine. This is the mixed fraction, and we're going to explore how to write numbers as mixed numbers or improper in a second. Hopefully, what I would do if I was you is I'd copy out this example, see the solution. Copy out the example, see the solution, and then copy the solutions as well. Do it really neat, put a growth green box around it, and stuff like that to help you with your learning. Let's look at this one here, timesing. 3/4 times 3/7. Now, you don't have to worry when timesing anything about having common denominators. You simply times the top numbers together and the bottoms together. So you get 9 over 28. Can you simplify that? Can that go simpler? What goes into 28 into 9? Is there a number apart from 1? No. So that's it. Now this one, slightly more complicated. 1 1/2 times 2/5. Now we are going to talk about this, okay? Because we can convert that mixed to an improper fraction, okay? And we can say that there are 3 halves in total here, times the 2/5. So 3 times 2 is 6, 2 times 5 is 10, and then we can simplify. What goes into 10 and 6? Well, they're both even, so half that, half that. Now you could have cancelled here as well. That's another way of doing it. But I think we need to look at equivalent fractions in a minute to really get an understanding. But just to finish off, let's look at dividing. Now dividing, there's a fantastic thing called keep, change, flip. And if you search on YouTube, you'll find some crazy guys doing a crazy song on keep, change, flip. And it's definitely worth looking into. If I look at this first one, let's not bother with B yet. Let's just concentrate on A. 3/7 divided by 3/4. Keep, change, flip. You keep the first fraction, but then you change the symbol to a times and you flip those. You flip those over, and then you're going back to how we'd previously done with timesing. 3/4 are 12, 7 3s are 21. Can you simplify? Well, you can see that 3 is in the top, 3 is in the bottom. So yes, you can divide top and bottom by 3 and you get 4/7. Like you could have cancelled that way. But I think we need to look at equivalent fractions, okay, and improper. Improper and mixed fractions. So let's start with converting an improper to a mixed fraction. So here I've got 8/3 and 6/5. Now I can think of both of these as blocks, okay? I've got 8 blocks here and I've got 6 blocks here. In this first case, I want to divide them into groups of 3. I want to put them into groups of 3. And you've got 2 there, the remainder. Here, I want to put these 6 into a group of 5. So you can see here the group of 5, and you've got a remainder. Now, how do I write that out as a mixed fraction? You can see here I've got 2 wholes and 2/3 left. 2 wholes and 2 of these thirds left. This one, I've got 1 whole and 1/5 left because I divided them into 5, didn't I? So I've got 1 and 1/5. So that's converting from an improper to a mixed. An improper to a mixed. What about the other way round? 3 1/4 converted to an improper and 2 2/5 converted to an improper. Same idea. Okay, here I've got everything into quarters. So I want 3 blocks of quarters plus my 1 left over. You see, I've got 3 blocks split into quarters. 3 blocks split into quarters. So I've got there, plus that extra 1. Here, I've got 2 blocks split into fifths. 2 blocks split into fifths, plus my extra 2 there. So all I need to do now is count how many I've got, and that's how many quarters I need on the top. Count how many I've got, and that's how many fifths I need at the bottom. You can see here I've got 3, 6, 12, 3 4s plus a 1 is 13. Here I've got 5, 5, 2, 2 sets of 5, 2 times 5 is 10, plus 2 is 12. So I can convert the mixed fraction to an improper. And you do this if you want to add or divide or times. It's often the easier way to do it, to convert from a mixed to an improper. But afterwards, if you want to write it as a normal answer, normally they like it as a mixed fraction, so you'd convert the other way and you go back that way. You've got a series of questions now. So what you need to do is have a go at some of these. You don't have to do all of them, just a few of them. You'll find the green gets easier than this sort of orangey brown, and then the red is harder. So just pause the computer, look at it, have a go. The next slide will show you the answers, and then I'm going to repeat this twice more. So I put this up, just have a go, take as long as you need, okay, just have a go, then pause, and then check your answers. And I'm going to show you your answers now. So again, pause, go through, check, email me, message me if you're stuck, because these are all adding fractions. Now let's look at timesing and dividing. Notice we haven't done subtraction yet. We'll do that later. But here you've got some timesing and some dividing. So again, just have a go. You might just want to try question 6. That's absolutely fine. Don't worry about it. Question 7, don't forget, keep, change, flip. Keep, change, flip. And these ones, you have to convert these first of all into improper fractions, and remember how to do that. So you can pause it. Next slide will show the answers. Just have a go, then check the answers out. See what you do. So here are your answers. Look through, again, pause, have a look through, see what you can do, okay? And hopefully you've got a basic grounding of it. Now, we've got one more question here, but before I get to here, what I'm going to say is I am going to give more information out later tomorrow and just help you put some more on the teams. This is just for you to have an overview, see what you're doing. And if you're really struggling, again, don't forget My Maths, BBC Bitesize, really good sites. So this question here, again, same idea. It's mixed fractions and dividing. So what you need to do is first of all, convert that to an improper. And then once you've got that, keep, change, flip. Keep, change, flip. So convert them to top heavy, then keep, change, flip. You can pause it and then unpause. I'll show you the answers. Here you go. So we've done a lot of work on fractions. This is just an overview. All you need to do is look through this, have a go at doing it a few times, and just see what you can do, and then email me or put a message on the Microsoft team if you want some more help.